What's up, Eric? I'm just at work, but I kind of wanted to go live, but I shouldn't play music from where I'm at. But I figured I'd say what's up to the people. Yeah, I'm working 11 to 11. That's a pretty long shift. So I was getting tired, so I'm like, I need something to keep me engaged because I can't just walk around the building all the time. I've been trying to read, but that's been getting me tired, which sucks because I want to put a chunk in this book today. Yeah. So 11 in the morning to 11 at night, that's like your whole day. You know what I mean? And then I have to do another one tomorrow. But usually once I've got through this one, it's easier to do tomorrow's. But I definitely get tired, but I'm not doing overnights because overnights I would definitely get too tired. Especially like 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. is probably a little harder mentally. Yeah, bro. I hate that Domino's makes you use your own car to drive and deliver. I don't really eat Domino's either, so that's probably a good thing. Woo! Yeah, I'm just working and I can't show the company I work for. Damn, that's a good green screen. You can see like the blue wrapper on my body from the background here. Sure if I see that. Don't ask me how I know how this works, but I just think differently than a lot of people, but I'm not super smart. Woo. What's up with Domino's, Eric? Freedom. Freedom. Kids do. The room was hardly bigger than she was, with cheap fiberboard walls that cracked and gave into the sea wind. The walls were off-white. The walls that creaked and gave into the sea wind. The walls were off-white with a couple of loose shelves. There was a toilet and a shower and a translucent plastic cube in one corner, an induction oven and a couple pots and pans in another. She had a futon rolled up against the wall. It was as bleak and transitional a space as you liked, smelling of old fried rice and sweat. Cafe Electrique on the shelves. Oh, Cafe Electrique sweat. Rickshaw girl sweat, but she had some things of her own on the shelves, which was more than most of them could say. She had 2 spare lycra outfits, 3 old books, and some tissue paper flowers. It's nice, Ed said. Why lie? She said, it's shite. She indicated the futon. I can make us something to eat, she said, or maybe you'd just like to lie down. Ed looked reluctant. Hey, she said, I'm gentle. I never hurt anyone yet. She was right. She unfolded him with care. Her olive skin, with its faint down of hair, had a strange, strong smell like cloves and ice. She touched him softly, protected him from her convulsions by coming somewhere deep down inside of herself, and gently encouraged him to batter against her as hard as he wanted. Hey, what's up, farmer? I'm just reading a book and I'm at work, so I'm not supposed to show you guys where I work. And I got too many spots that say where I'm working. But I'm just reading a book right now. So I figured I'd try reading it for people. And if there's any stuff in it, it's an 18 up plus channel, so. How you doing, farmer? Ed must have looked reluctant. Hey, she said, I'm gentle. I never hurt anyone yet. She was right. She enfolded him with care. Her olive skin, with its faint down of hair, had a strange, strong smell, like cloves and ice. She touched him softly, protected him from her convulsions by coming somewhere deep down inside herself, and gently encouraging him to batter against her as hard as he wanted. When he woke in the night, he found she had curved round him with awkward consideration, as if she was not used to someone being there. The tide was in. I'm doing okay, bro. I just got a long shift I'm working, and I was getting tired from reading. The tide was in. Jesus. Ed laid and listened to the sea roll the stones about in the undertow. The wind hissed. It was soon bluish dawn. He felt the circus began to wake up around him, though he didn't yet know what that would mean to him. Annie's glyphs tranquil down her breath. The rise and fall of her huge ribcage soon sent him to sleep again. In a time like that, who needed a circus? The Halo was a circus in itself. Circus was in the streets. It was inside people's heads. Eat fire. Everybody was a fire eater. Everybody had geek genes and a story to tell. Sentient tattoos made everyone the illustrated man. Everyone was high on some flying trapeze issue of their own. It was the flight into the grotesque. The tusked cultivar on Electric Avenue, the twink curled fauteuil in the twink tank. Whether they knew it or not, they had asked and answered all the questions the universe could support for now. They were their own audience, too. The only thing you couldn't be was an alien, so Sandra Shen kept a few of those, and prophecy was still popular because no one could quite do it yet. But in the face of the uniform grotesque, cheap thrill at the heart of performances, and through a series of breathtaking acts of the imagination devised and sometimes acted in by Sandra Shen herself, presented the vanished normal. Bloop. Thanks, Farmer. As a result, Ed's Chinese age was able to define itself by the cultural opposite of having breakfast 1950. It could thrill to buying an underwire bra at Dorothy Perkins 1972, or novel reading until 1980s, and snigger over the perverse. A New Baby and Toyota Previa with West London schoolchildren, both 2002, most extraordinary of all, perched as it was so exactly on the historical cusp, was the astonishing Brian Tate and Michael Kearney looking into computer monitors, 1999. These gem-like tableaus, acted out behind glass under powerful lights by the clones of fat men about to have a heart attack on Zurich Metro platform, anorexic women dressed in the Angelino sportfuckwear of 1982, brought to life the whole bizarre comfortingness of old Earth. Such desperate fantasies were the real earners. Like fairy godmothers, they had blessed the circus at its inception, funded its early whirlwind travels across the Halo, and now supported its decline years in the twilight zone of new Venus sport. Success is often its own downfall. People weren't coming to watch anymore. They were coming to get their own ideas. They weren't content to spectate the vanished past. They wanted to be it. The retro lifestyle emerging from the corporate enclaves had less historical accuracy than a Shen tableau, but a softer, more buyable feel. The look was dressed down Friday. It was the Ericsson phone and had Italian wool sweater worn across the shoulders, with its arm knotted loosely in front. Meanwhile, at the radical edge, Gene Taylor and Entradista from Motel Splendido was reputed to have made himself over as the exact replica of Victorian Music Hall starring using actual DNA. In the face of competition like that, Madame Shen was thinking of moving on, but there were other reasons for that too. You go too deep, you expected to get burned. There isn't any way around that. Ed dreamed of a dipship breaking up in slow motion in the photosphere of a G-type star. The dipshit was Ed. Then he dreamed he was back in the twink tank, but the tank world had come apart, and he could already hear the voices from every cupboard, every corner, every pretty girl's petticoat. Then he woke with a start, and it was full day, and he could hear the sea on one side of the dunes and the circus on the other. He found 2 vegetable samosas wrapped in a slip of greaseproof paper, also some money, together with a note which read, "Go see the receptionist about work." Annie Glip's handwriting was as careful and literate as her way of having sex. Ed ate the samosas, looking comfortably around the little room with the marine light falling into it and the sea air filling it. Then, when he crumpled the paper, took a shower to get the blood off him, and went out, Sandra Shen's observationarium and native karma plant incorporating the circus of Plateth Lao occupied 2 acres, a 2-acre concrete site on the boundary of the non-corporate spaceport. The observatorium housed a series of bizarre pressure tanks and magnetic vessels. No worries, farmer. Took up less than a quarter of this, while the circus itself was contained in a single building curbs and volutes of whose composite construction had been designed to resemble a carnival tent. The rest of the compound was living quarters, all exactly what you would expect. Weeds, salty, streaked alloy siding, blistered paint, old carny holograms with no memory of themselves as humans, which faded but energetic woke into life as you passed, pursuing and hectoring, cajoling. Everyone who worked here would be like that, lively but disconnected. Ed felt this too. He had walked across the whole site to find the front office, which was in another clapped-out wooden building, grayish-white under a faculty neon sign. The receptionist wore a blonde wig. It was big hair, platinum hair, piled high and sold cheap. In front of her, she had a holographic terminal of a type which Ed was unfamiliar. This resembled an old-fashioned fish tank in which he thought he discerned now, and then a stream of bubbles, a fake clamshell, opened on a miniature mermaid. The receptionist was like a mermaid herself, older than she looked. She sat demurely beneath her hair, a small woman with personal sense of humor and an accent he could not place. When Ed explained his purpose, the whole thing took on a circulously formal air. She asked him of the details, which, except for his name he made up, she asked him to do what he could. That was easier. Fly any kind of ship, he boasted. The receptionist pretended to look out the window. "We don't need a pilot momentarily," she said. "As you can see, we're on the ground." Sunjammers, deep freighters, starships, and dipships. "I've been there," Ed went on, "and flown it." He was surprised how close to the truth he was. Fusion engines to Dynaflow divers, some stuff I never knew what it was, earth controls bolted to an alien equipment. "Thank you, Abigail." "Hi." "I'm sympathetic," the receptionist said, but is there anything else you can do?" Ed thought. "I rode Navigator on Alcubierre ships," he said. "You know, the big ones that bunch reality up in front of them as they go? It's like a ruckle in a cloth." He shook his head, trying to visualize the Alcubierre warp. Or maybe not like that at all. Anyways, space gets wrenched, matters get wrenched, time goes out to the window with everything else. Close into the ship, you can just about survive it. The navigators surf that part of the wave. They go out in an EVA pods and park in the wrap of the warp, trying to see what's next. One thing they can see from there is their lives flashing away in front of them. He felt bleak now when he talked about it. They call it the bow wave, he explained. "The kind of jobs we have," the receptionist began, "you see some weird shit as a navigator. It looks like all these silvery eels under the sea, migrating into some kind of radiation that somehow it was explained to me, but you don't see it as that. Your life kind of leaks away as eels under the sea. and you watch it afterwards. Ed said you can't work out why you do a job like that. He looked away at his hands. I surfed that wave and a few others. Anyway, I can find any kind of rocket, except K-ships, of course. The receptionist shook her head. I meant, she said, can you do anything like stack crates, clean up after animals, that kind of work? She consulted the terminal again and added, or prophecy? Ed laughed. Pardon? She regarded him evenly. Telling the future, she explained, as if it's to someone who didn't know the word but was bright enough to learn it. Ed leaned forward and looked into the terminal. What is going on in there? He said. Her eyes were a confusing color. Sometimes it was jade, sometimes the green of salt waves, sometimes somehow both all at once. There were dots of silver in her pupil which seemed ready to break up, drift away. Suddenly she switched off the terminal and stood up as if she had been somewhere else and had no more time to talk to Ed. Standing up, she seemed taller and younger, though. Oh, yay, it's 2 o'clock. How you doing, Abigail? Nice, I've been here for 3 hours. I just gotta get to 5 o'clock and that'll be halfway to my shift, which is only 3 hours away. Fuck yeah. I'm tired. It's all this reading.